As if runaway inflation isn't bad enough these days, do you get somewhat perturbed, as I do, when you go into a store to buy something and then when you get to the cash register, you're asked by the cashier to make a charitable donation? Look, I have nothing against charitable causes, but for me, and I suspect for so many others, this is a personal decision, which is to say, I'll choose which charity I plan to give to and how much I plan to donate. As an aside, it really irks me that when a retailer collects all of those individual loonies and toonies and fivers and so on, it is the corporation that receives the charitable tax deduction, not the individual consumers who actually made the donations. Be that as it may, is it too much to ask that consumers receive some transparency when it comes to which charities the money is destined for? Such was definitely not the case during the month of June at Liquor Control Board of Ontario stores. Whenever I went into these provincially owned and operated booze boutiques, I would invariably be asked to make a charitable donation. And when I had the utter temerity to ask who would be the recipient of my precious dough, I was routinely told AIDS charities. Here, check out some of the video evidence.
Donations today for Pride?
Oh, for what?
Pride?
Pride?
Yes, and Casey House?
Pride's a charity now?
Yes. It's a big umbrella. It has like different, like there's a hospital, there's helping them get on their feet.
Oh, well,
yeah.
What hospital is it?
Casey House.
Oh, okay, that's a...
Yeah, like here.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
see.
so it's like for Pride and it helps them with their health and they're back on their feet and everything else.
This organization, EGAL, do you know who they are?
Which one?
That is not... They're an activist organization.
Are they?
Oh, yeah. I could never give money to them in good conscience.
It just funds AIDS research as well as other LGBTQ
Oh,
charities.
do you have any of the names of I just...
Canadian Foundation for AIDS Research, Rainbow Railroad, Yale, the 519, Space for Change, and Casey House.
I don't think all of those are for AIDS research. Definitely not EGAL. That's like an activist organization.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Oh, by the way, folks, during this period, a viewer reached out and told us that when he asked where his money was going, a clerk at a Markham LCBO store informed him on more than one occasion that the funds collected were going to Women's College Hospital. That is completely false, by the way. Yet, what about that AIDS explanation that I was frequently given? Was that entirely true? Well, no. You see, the LCBO's charitable causes in June consisted of the following: Casey House, Rainbow Railroad, the 519, CanFAR, and EGAL Canada. And just exactly who's who in the LGBT zoo, you ask? Well, two of these charities carry out AIDS-related work. CanFAR, for example, is a national independent organization advancing HIV knowledge and science. Casey House, meanwhile, is a specialty hospital in Toronto that cares for people living with and at risk of HIV. But what about those other organizations? Well, the 519 is self-described as a queer drop-in center, and its prime directive is definitely not AIDS research. Rather, the 519 is an advocacy group fighting for, in its own words, quote, acceptance and affirmation, end quote. Well, acceptance is one thing. As for affirmation, not on my dime. Then there's the Rainbow Railroad. This is a global not-for-profit organization that helps at-risk LGBT, etc. people get to safety worldwide. Alas, the Rainbow Railroad has about as much to do with AIDS research as the Polar Express. By the way, if you are trying to get into Canada as a refugee, simply claim you're a member of the Spirit Unicorn community, and thanks to the likes of the Rainbow Railroad, your case will be expedited with such alacrity that it would shame a bullet train. But surely the most egregious recipient of LCBO money is EGAL Canada. EGAL stands for Equality for Gays and Lesbians Everywhere. But it really functions as a hardcore advocacy group for the Rainbow Mafia set. This organization is obsessed with things like pride flags and pronouns, and it's totally down with the radicalized transgender agenda that is ruining female sports and female shelters and female prisons. Of note, EGAL is very litigious, and EGAL adores censorship. Do you know last year, for example, EGAL pressured the CRTC to get Fox News removed from Canadian airwaves? Yeah, Fox News. So this organization is supposedly all about acceptance and tolerance, except that they want to control what you watch on TV. And if opinions are not simpatico with their own worldview, well then EGAL wants such divergent voices silenced. Wow, some charity. But in the meantime, we have in the LCBO a crown corporation aiding and abetting these litigious and censorious thugs. Who approved that? And I thought we had a conservative government running Ontario. Yeah, I know, folks, insert laugh track here. I did reach out to the LCBO regarding its deceptive solicitation practices. And here's the answer, well, the non-answer I received back. Quote, "Thank you for your inquiry related to our Love Pairs with Everything fundraising campaign that took place from June 11th to 30th, 2024. This year, LCBO welcomed 2 new charitable partners, EGAL Canada and CanFAR, along with returning partners from Casey House, Rainbow Railroad, and the 519. Women's College Hospital Foundation was not part of the 2024 Love Pairs with Everything fundraising campaign. To ensure campaign preparedness, LCBO retail store employees were provided details about our charitable partners and the causes each support. To further help with customer awareness, our charitable partners were visible in store at the point of sale, along with information on lcbo.com and social media channels. Funds raised and the impact we are making to serve the needs of Ontario's diverse communities will be announced on LCBO's official social media channels in the coming weeks. We thank customers across the province for their support and any donations made to the campaign alongside their in-store purchase," end quote. Well, missing is the explanation as to why AIDS research was always the go-to answer when most of these charities have virtually nothing to do with AIDS issues. And get this, the LCBO would not answer how much money was raised. Now, why would that be? It's a crown corporation beholden to all taxpayers. Why the secrecy? In the final analysis, it's bad enough that the government-owned LCBO still clings to a liquor monopoly, but it is beyond egregious that Ontarians must endure a deceptive shakedown by staffers, given that so many Ontarians are shopping at LCBO stores not by choice, but by necessity. And the cherry on this sordid sundae is that so many LCBO employees were apparently instructed to falsify their pride pitches, saying donations were destined for medical organizations conducting AIDS research as opposed to politicized advocacy groups. Indeed, I think this campaign falls under the bailiwick of deceptive marketing practices. In the meantime, I think I need a drink. Actually, make it a double. Well, folks, the LCBO strike might be over, but guess what? The liquor quasi-monopoly remains. And we're just saying, why? Why is government in the alcohol business to begin with? Its role is surely to regulate and tax alcohol, not to retail the stuff, please go to sellthelcbo.com. That's sellthelcbo.com. Sign our petition, and hey, you can even buy a t-shirt that states that very message. Wear that into the liquor store next time you're shopping for a bottle of scotch. Send the message that it's time to get government out of booze retailing once and for all.